I love Dak Prescott this week. He's the start of the week. I think, what we've seen now is two different game scripts for him the last 2 weeks. A game managing good performance 2 games ago against the Bears. Throwing a lot, 46 pass attempts. What we saw in the, I would say, somewhat debacle against the Packers in the overtime loss. I think he'll be somewhere in between in terms of his pass attempts, but I think he'll also be somewhere in terms of fantasy points between 24 and 29. So I'm excited about Dak. I think he's going to have a potential top 5 finish against the Vikings defense that's been suspect at times to opposing quarterbacks, 21 or more fantasy points to 3 of their last 4. And so I think this is going to be a fun game. I think Dak will step up. I think he'll have, again, another 3 games in a row with 24 or more points.
All right. Heath, who do you love this week?
I love Jacoby Myers. It looks like a bad matchup on paper against the Jets defense. It's been pretty good against wide receivers, but the last time he faced them, he had 21 fantasy points. Tyler Boyd went over 20 fantasy points. I do think that the Patriots will have to throw a little bit in this game. Jacoby Myers is by far the top target in the offense. Double-digit targets, maybe even double-digit catches in this game for him.
Interesting. Would you start Christian Watson, Allen Lazard, or Jacoby Myers in full PPR?
Jacoby Myers.
Hey, all right. That's pretty random. I wasn't, but most people don't love Jacoby Myers. Usually like Jacoby Myers.
Well, we didn't love Jacoby Myers in the past because he was all hat, no cattle, all catches, all targets, no touchdowns. But he's catching touchdowns this year, so he's a real fantasy wide receiver now.
I can assure you, I've never once heard all hat, no cattle. Yeah, no, I've probably heard something.
That seems like a phrase you would use a lot, though.
Me or Heath?
No, definitely you.
I think you should start using it now. I'm giving it to you.
No cattle.
Yeah.
So that's like a really bad cowboy?
It's like a cowboy that has a really fancy, nice hat and looks like a cowboy, but he doesn't actually have he's not actually a cowboy. He doesn't have any cows.
When was the last time you wore a cowboy hat?
It might, 5 years, maybe? In the last 5 years, there was a 4th of July at Deerfield Beach where I wore a cowboy hat for part of the day and then lost it and never saw it again.
I wonder why that happened. All right, JB, who are we avoiding? Who are we avoiding this week?
I would like to avoid Najee Harris. DJ Reader back. He had a very solid stat line, but it was an empty stat line last week with 99 yards rushing and no touchdowns and no catches. Jaylen Warren is probably going to continue to get work. He's got knee discomfort coming into this week if he's even going to play. I anticipate him playing at this point, but it's just not an easy situation for him, I think, against his Bengals defense.
So I was curious about DJ Readers. I didn't see him on the injury report, but they just activated him. Do we know that he's back this week?
I believe so.
Okay. It's something to keep an eye on. They've actually been very good against the run 3 straight weeks without Reader, but would be much better with DJ Reader. All right, Najee Harris is a player that Jamie would like to avoid. How about you, Heath?
Well, assuming that Jamal Williams' illness is not something serious, I would like to avoid DeAndre Swift. Last week, I was fine just starting him and hoping for the efficiency. He was off the injury report. I thought that his volume would go up, and Justin Jackson's playing basically as much as him and more on third downs. I just have no faith what DeAndre Swift's role is going to be. Now, that'll change if Jamal Williams can't get healthy, but being on the Wednesday report with an illness is not enough to scare me off yet.
All right, to recap, Jamie loves Dak Prescott, start of the week. Heath loves Jacoby Myers against the Jets. To avoid this week, Najee Harris against the Bengals, DeAndre Swift at the Giants.